Welcome everybody to episode 3. On this episode, I felt the necessity to introduce myself and give you guys a little backstory. It's very interesting to come from a country like Venezuela, where it was very fast-paced. I thank my parents for taking the initiative and knowing what was going to happen and bringing my sister and I to the States early on. It was a drastic change then because Caracas is a really big city. So we moved to New Smyrna Beach and I started surfing immediately. And that led me to photography. Early on I found that I felt good when I shot photos and video. And I gotta thank my brother-in-law Patrick Eichstead for introducing me to camera. And he took me on some trips to Hawaii in 2004 and 2005. Yeah, as you see on my Instagram, I have a photo of me shooting video standing next to Shane Beshin, a professional surfer. Just a very legendary, inspiring human all around. But yeah, that photo was 2004. That was filming the Eddie Aikau at Waimea Bay. And that was the year that Bruce Irons pulled into the shore break. I remember the freaking beach erupting, and that was just a very awesome thing to have witnessed. So yeah, that's kind of when the bug bit me. Next year, I got to go back to Hawaii, and we were now upgraded to SLRs, and we were shooting with the 7D. And I remember Pat was just overshooting for the day, and so I was like, hey man, I'll keep shooting if you guys want to just go hang out. And I sat in front of the Oakley house and I got a photo of Sebastian Seats, sea bass. And when we came back to Florida, I had sold the photo to Surfing Mag, and that was my first actual published photo ever. And that's when I started taking off. That was in 11th grade in high school. It was insane, Another little thing I'm just gonna throw in here. I skipped school with one of my best friends, Cody Moore, and we went to the beach to go surf because we knew the waves were fun. And when we paddled out, we ran into my brother-in-law and his whole crew, and they knew that I was supposed to be in school. He was like, my brother-in-law was like, hey man, well if you're gonna be out here, if you're gonna skip school, the camera is in the car, go to the beach, you're not gonna surf, you're gonna go shoot photos. Well, a local professional surfer by the name of Aaron Cormican, he was riding for Placebo surfboards at the time. And I remember setting up and getting this sequence, and you could see the Placebo logo perfectly and all his other logos and then I ended up selling that sequence to Placebo and Eastern Surf Magazine, which, to be honest with you, I haven't seen an Eastern Surf Magazine in forever. I've been out of the surfing loop for a very long time. After that moment, after skipping school, getting caught, then being told that I was gonna work instead of surf, I ended up making money by selling my photography to a company. Those are the kind of moments that really solidify the idea of wanting to do something, you know what I mean? And it's not until you truly start chiseling away and start really moving towards that goal, whatever it takes, even skipping a little bit of school, that's really what's gonna separate the person who's gonna run into the one opportunity or not. Having a plan, even if you don't have a plan, just if there's something that really is itching inside, just go try it. Go put yourself in an uncomfortable situation so you can understand truly what it means. Hands exactly my segue to music. And the music is the same thing. It wasn't until I got into my trio, ADM Collective, that I started really feeling where music could go and started finding opportunities to do things that I would have never done with another band. So I love having both sides, because with the Monks, it's just this camaraderie that just happens naturally because we've been together for so long, and it wasn't until I went onto the unknown that I was able to find that balance. My father, when he was very young, he got to be a part of the Tito Rodriguez orchestra back in the 60s. If you guys don't know who Tito Rodriguez is, look him up. He was very famous in South America and the Caribbean. You know, my father always tried to get me into music, and I was just like, nah, man, I want to go play some baseball. I want to just go play with my friends. And then baseball was a huge part of my life. When I was in Miami, it was all baseball. It wasn't until I moved to New Smyrna Beach, Florida, that I got into surfing. You know, and surfing was the same thing. A mentor of mine who is no longer with us, Leon Johnson. If it wasn't for him, I would have never competed. But he forced me into competition because he was one of the directors for the NSSA. My life has always been sort of like, oh, do you like this? You know, here you go into the lion's den and try to defend yourself. And that's pretty much the story of my life. That's the only way I've learned, is by literally putting myself in situations where I've either failed or have pulled through barely. And I just want to encourage that for other people out there, that if there is something that's itching, just go do it. Trial and error is your best teacher, really, in the long run, you know? So yeah, so back to this gig coming up with Joe Payne. I haven't seen him since the Corona thing started. It's been a few months. You know, he's one of the local legends. I'm very happy to take you guys to the gig. It's over at this local bar. It's going to be an outdoor gig. Hopefully it doesn't rain. But yeah, I'm just happy to play some covers. You know, like I said, I probably won't be able to show much of the gig as far as the music goes, because we might get pulled unless we play some of the originals that they have. Oh yeah, and another thing I wanted to bring up is I didn't show too much of the Monk session on episode 2 because we're about to release the album and we don't really want to give too much away. As you can see, there's a lot of guitar solos. You guys better be ready for a fun, long-awaited album.